The 24th edition of the Malabar Naval Exercise is scheduled in two phases in November 2020. Phase 1 of the exercise Malabar 20 involving participation by Indian Navy, United States Navy, Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force JMSDF and Royal Australian Navy is set to commence off the Visakhapatnam coast in Bay of Bengal from 3rd to 6th of November 2020. Malabar series of maritime exercises commenced in 1992 as a bilateral Indian Navy United States Navy exercise. Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force has joined Malabar in 2015 and in the 2020 edition will now witness the participation of the Royal Australian Navy in this joint maritime exercise. This exercise is being conducted as a non-contact at-sea only exercise in view of COVID-19 pandemic will showcase the high levels of synergy and coordination between the friendly navies, which is based on their shared values and commitment to an open, inclusive Indo-Pacific and a rules-based international order. Malabar 20 Phase 1 would witness complex and advanced naval exercises including surface, anti-submarine and anti-air warfare operations, cross-deck flying, seamanship evolutions and weapon firing exercises. Phase 2 of Malabar 20 is scheduled to be conducted in the Arabian Sea in mid of November 2020. Hello everyone and welcome back for another interesting and informative session of the defense updates provided by SSB Crack Exams. I am Hemant and I feel very elated and happy to provide this information to you. If in case you are preparing for various defense examinations, I highly recommend you to download our Android app from Google Play Store. SSB Crack Exams is India's largest, most preferred online defense exams preparation portal. And if in case you are preparing for defense examinations like NDA, CDS, AFCAT, INET, Territorial Army, Indian Air Force, Admin Group X, Group 5, Central Armed Police Forces and various other examinations including SSB interviews, our application will be very helpful for you. We have already provided you a series of important quality lecture content, the lectures, sample practice questions, numerous study materials and quizzes and practice exercises are always there at your pace. You can download it and start off with your preparation in a very detailed and proper way so that it will be very helpful. You can even follow us on all sort of social media platforms so that you will be staying updated for your examination preparation. Now, let us begin with the question of the day that I have asked on 2nd of November 2020, that is yesterday. When did I ask this? This question is asked in the monthly defense current affairs section. If in case you have not gone through the complete October month defense current affairs, please go through that. I have covered it the complete way in a proper way in 7 different sections in a very proper way. And the study material for that is already provided for free of cost in our application. Those who have downloaded it, for them it is available for them. So you please watch that particular one because it is very important and a lot of informative things were mentioned there. So in that particular section I have asked a question, so I am covering that particular question in this particular session. And the question that I asked was, what is India's first private aerospace company to test fire first of its kind upper stage rocket engine? I repeat the question, what is India's first private aerospace company to test fire first of its kind upper stage rocket engine? And the correct answer for this is Skyroot Aerospace. Okay, Skyroot Aerospace is a company which is based in Hyderabad. It is a private company and it is this particular company that for the first time tested its upper stage rocket engine, and this whole upper stage rocket engine is a 3D printed one, and they name that particular 3D printed rocket engine as Raman. Okay, Raman is the name of the 3D printed rocket engine. So when did this particular test happen and what are all the details according to that? If we go through that, on 12th of August, on 101st birth anniversary of Vikram Sarabhai, Hyderabad-based space launch startup Skyroot Aerospace became the first Indian private company to successfully test fire a homegrown rocket engine. The engine named Raman after Nobel laureate C.V. Raman is meant for the upper stage of the series of launch platforms of the company is working upon. Now, what is the upper stage and what are the lower stages and all? If in case you are not aware of the complete launch vehicle dynamics of the rockets and all, launch vehicle dynamics is considered to be a very particular and a very special part of the complete aerospace dynamics. Launch vehicle is a very important terminology that you have to understand. A launch vehicle is not just a rocket. It is used to launch some particular satellites into orbit. Understanding? Now, there is no satellite which simply directly goes to orbit. So, if you want to place a satellite in an orbit, then you will use this particular launch vehicle. So for this particular launch vehicle, it has to cross the various levels of the atmosphere. Let it be stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere. It has to cross these levels of the atmosphere that are there above the earth, and after crossing all of these levels, it has to go place itself into the exosphere, and wherever the orbit is proper at that particular orbit, the satellite must be placed. So to launch that particular one and to completely come out of the Earth's atmosphere, we need a certain amount of velocity and energy, and that velocity is known as an escape velocity. Understanding? So to have and achieve this particular escape velocity, generally we can say this escape velocity to be as 11 kilometers per second. That means if the launch vehicle is moving at a speed of around 11 kilometers per second, then it can completely withstand the gravitational force. It can completely come out of the gravitational force. At this particular velocity, the Earth's gravitational force will not be acting in a proper way. So the launch vehicle will be going at this particular speed, crossing the Earth's atmosphere and the gravity, and then placing the satellites. So this particular launch vehicle was actually fired off, and this launch vehicle, and it was built with an important engine. Most importantly, all the rocket engines we generally acquire it from the other countries, let it be from Germany or USA or Russia most probably, but this is for the first time that a private company in India has built its own engine. And this whole engine, this particular engine that you are finding about, this is the completely 3D printed one. Okay, so this is the reason why this is considered to be a very famous one. And this is used for the upper stage, and the upper stage of the rocket, it delivers the thrust for the last part of the rocket's journey before the payload is deployed in the designated orbit. Raman is the first 3D printed rocket engine in the country. So remember, this is considered to be a very, very important question. You can expect this question in the coming up AFCAT, CDS, the CAPF examinations also. So this is considered to be a very, very important one. Okay, things that you have to remember is this is launched on 12th of August. And what is 12th of August? 12th of August is the 101st birth anniversary of Vikram Sarabhai. Remember that famous person? He is the space scientist of India. He is also known as the father of Indian space research. So he is Mr. Vikram Sarabhai. So it was on his 101st birth anniversary, the Skyroot Aerospace has launched it, and we have an upper stage rocket engine that is located here. And this rocket engine, this is completely made 3D printed, homegrown in our country, and they named this particular engine as Raman. That's it regarding this important details regarding the question of the day. Now let us go through the first and foremost update that I was discussing with you in the introduction. This is regarding the Malabar 2020 naval exercise. This is considered to be a very, very important one. In the last session in the month of October, we already had various important exercises, and in the month of September also, we also had an important exercise with the Japanese Navy, which also known as the Japan-India Maritime Self-Defense Exercise, and JIMEX exercise was also conducted in the in 26th to 28th of September 2020. But after a long time again, after around 1 month of back, we are again back with doing this important drill. And in this particular important naval exercise, 4 navies are participating, and they are the Indian Navy, United States Navy, Royal Australian Navy, and Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force Navy. All of these are happening. And where are they being conducted? Where is this particular operation exercise is being carried out? It is being carried out at Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh, and the phase 1 is being conducted. This will be conducted from 3rd to 6th of November 2020. Where will the phase 2 be conducted? Phase 2 will be conducted in the Arabian Sea. Okay, now this is conducted in the Bay of Bengal. Okay, this phase 1 is conducted in Bay of Bengal, but the phase 2 will be conducted in Arabian Sea. And when will it be conducted? It will be conducted in the mid of November. Okay, so it will be conducted in mid of November. This particular Malabar 20 exercise is the 24th edition. Generally, this particular exercise was started in the year of 1992 only with the United States. Only United States and India were participating together. But later in the year of 2015, Japan also joined this exercise. And again in the year of 2020, that means in this particular exercise, Royal Australian Navy is now for the first time participating in this exercise. If we go through the details regarding the ships that are participating, the Indian naval ships that are participating in this exercise include INS Ranvijay, INS Shivalik, INS Sukanya, INS Shakti, and INS Sindhuraj. Okay, it is Indian naval ships Ranvijay, Shivalik, Sukanya, Shakti, and Sindhuraj. All of these 5 Indian naval ships are participating in the Malabar 2020 naval exercise. INS Ranvijay is a Rajput class destroyer. INS Shivalik is a stealth multi-role frigate. INS Sukanya is an offshore patrol vessel, and INS Shakti is a Deepak class fleet tanker, and INS Sindhu Raj is a Sindhu Ghosh class electric diesel submarine. So what all do we have? We have one destroyer, one frigate, one offshore patrol vessel, one fleet tanker, and we have one submarine. Okay, all of these 5 different types of the Indian naval warships are participating. What are they? One destroyer, one frigate, one offshore patrol vessel, one fleet tanker, and one submarine. What are their names? That destroyer is INS Ranvijay, which is a Rajput class destroyer. We have one frigate, and what is the name of that frigate? That frigate is INS Shivalik. This is a stealth multi-role frigate. And we have one offshore patrol vessel. What is that? It is INS Sukanya. Okay, and then comes INS Shakti, which is a Deepak class fleet tanker, and the only submarine that is participating in this particular Malabar 2020 phase 1, it is INS Sindhu Raj. Okay, please do not confuse yourself with INS under one Sindhu Ghosh and INS Sindhuveer. INS Sindhuveer is what? INS Sindhuveer is that particular submarine which we gifted to Myanmar. So that is considered to be a very, very important one. Then coming along with these important Indian naval ships, what are the aircrafts that are participating? They include the Hindustan Jet Trainer Hawk, Boeing P-8I Poseidon aircraft, the Dornier aircraft, and various other helicopters are also participating in this exercise. Coming towards the foreign naval ships that are participating from the United States Navy, we have the United States ship John S. McCain, which is a guided missile destroyer, is participating. And then from the Royal Australian Navy, we have Her Majesty's Australian ship HMAS Ballarat, which is a long-range frigate. This particular HMAS Ballarat is participating with its own integral MH-60 helicopter, and with the same we also have the Japanese ship, which is the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force JMSDF Onami, which is also a destroyer and which is participating with this integral SH-60 helicopter. So the other foreign naval ships are all destroyers, and only 2 are destroyers and one important one is frigate. From United States Navy we have one destroyer, from the Japanese Navy we have one destroyer, and from the Australian Navy we have one frigate. Okay, so regarding the destroyers, the USS John McCain and the JMSDF Onami we have, and then regarding the frigate we have HMAS Ballarat. And what are they from Indian Navy? They are one destroyer, the INS Ranvijay, which is a destroyer, INS Shivalik, a frigate, INS Sukanya, which is an offshore patrol vessel, INS Shakti, a fleet tanker, and INS Sindhu Raj, a Sindhu Ghosh class electric diesel submarine. That is it regarding this particular one. Now let us go through with the next in detail regarding this particular one is about the Mission Sagar. The second phase of the Mission Sagar. Sagar carries its full form as security and growth for all in the region. Okay, remember the full form of Sagar is security and growth for all in the region. This is a very important flagship international level range of program that is launched by the Narendra Modi, and this is regarding our updates of how to secure the security of our country. Okay, so this is regarding maintaining the proper relationships with the other countries. And regarding the Mission Sagar, the phase 1, we have helped many countries which include Maldives, Mauritius, Seychelles, Madagascar and Comoros. We also provided them food aid and medicines regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. So we, as a part of Mission Sagar 2, our Indian naval ship INS Airavat will deliver food to Sudan, South Sudan, Djibouti and Eritrea. So as of now, we already got an update that INS Airavat has already landed in Port Sudan, and it carries a consignment of around 100 tons of food aid. If we go through in detail, that Mission Sagar 2 follows the first Mission Sagar undertaken in May or June of 2020, wherein India reached out to Maldives, Mauritius, Seychelles, Madagascar and Comoros and provided food aid and medicines. Mission Sagar 2 is in line with the Prime Minister's vision of security and growth for all in the region and highlights the importance accorded by India to relations with her maritime neighbors and further strengthens the existing bond. The Indian Navy is progressing this mission in close coordination with the Ministries of Defence and External Affairs and other agencies of the Government of India. Going through with the next important update is regarding the Chief of Defence Forces of Kenya is visiting India. He has visited India yesterday and his visit is being continued all the way up to 6th of November 2020. So who is the Chief of Defence Forces of Kenya? He is General Robert Kibochi. He is the CDF of Kenya. He is visiting our country on very important ones is interacting with the Indian Defence Forces and officials, and this is considered to be a very important one. He will be visiting Agra, Mao and Bengaluru. Actually, to be going through, he had his important course, his signal officer's degree telecommunications engineering. He has finished this particular course from Military Communications and Military College of Telecommunications Engineering, MCT, Mao, in our country. So he got his telecommunications engineering degree from our own Indian institution, Indian military institution, and he had held this particular course around 3 years from the year of 1984 to 1987, while he was a very young officer. Later on, he went back to his country, and as far as his progressing and as far as his service is concerned, he has been appointed as the Chief of Defence Forces of his country, and this is considered to be a very great achievement, and he is visiting our country. He also had interactions with our Chief of Army Staff General Manoj Mukund Narwane, the Defence Minister of our country, the President of India, the Prime Minister of India, and various other important personnel. He has been invited by the Ministry of Defence, and our country, India, is the first country wherein which he is visiting outside Africa after he assumed the command in the May earlier this year. If we go through, we should also understand that this visit of this particular officer, he comes at a time when the bilateral relationship between India and Kenya is poised for a deeper engagement. Post visit of the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi to Kenya in 2016 and a reciprocal visit by His Excellency President Kenyatta in 2017, the relationship has grown from strength to strength. Ongoing areas of defense cooperation in this particular meeting with him will include capacity and capability building, counter-terrorism, UN peacekeeping operations, medical healthcare and cyber security. Now let us go through with the next important update, and that is regarding the raising day of the Military Intelligence Corps, which was conducted on November 1st on Sunday. So the Directorate of Military Intelligence is considered to be in the intelligence arm of the Indian Army. The Directorate of Indian Army's intelligence is considered to be one of the most sought after intelligence agencies of the whole world, and our intelligence agencies is considered to be a very stronghold of the complete Indian Army. If we go through, the primary mission of this is to provide timely, relevant, accurate, synchronized intelligence support to tactical, operational and strategic level needs of the army, and the motto of the Military Intelligence Corps is Sada Satark, which mentions always alert. Military intelligence also conducts counterintelligence activities to detect. What is the meaning of counterintelligence? Counterintelligence is that sort of operation wherein which when a negative country or when an opposition country tries to have intelligence on our own Indian defense inputs and assets, then our own intelligence will try to sort out and provide defense against that sort of intelligence, and that operation is known as the counterintelligence. Okay, so Military Intelligence Corps will also provide this sort of counterintelligence, and using the counterintelligence, it will detect, identify and neutralize adversarial intelligence threats inside and outside the Indian Army. If we go through in detail, that approximately 3,700 military personnel are now assigned in the intelligence duties, and all of them are trained at Military Intelligence Training School and Depot, MINTSD, which is located in Pune. Okay, so it is in this particular important intelligence that this particular school that all of these officers are trained on how to collect, detect, identify and completely subverge and divert and completely neutralize the counterintelligence. Coming towards this MINTSD, this school will also provide training for the places, not only for the Indian Army officers, it will also provide for the other services, even including the Indian Navy, Indian Air Force and the various other paramilitary and military forces. The Central Armed Police Forces organizations are also learned on how to learn and completely master the art of gathering and possessing the intelligence. The current commanding officer of this particular Military Intelligence Corps is directly the Deputy Chief of Army Staff of Strategy, who is Lieutenant General Paramjit Singh Sangha. Going through the next important update is also regarding the same raising day, which is on the November 1st. Again on Sunday, we already have the Army Aviation Corps Day. So it was in the year of 1986, the November 1st of 1986, Army Aviation Corps was raised for the first time, and the pilot were drawn from the other combat arms, including artillery officers also. Indian Air Force flies attack helicopters such as Mi-25, Mi-35, HAL, Rudra. All of these are those helicopters that are under the operational control of Army, but Air Force will fly these helicopters under the control of the Indian Army. and helicopters such as HAL Chetak, HAL Cheetah and HAL Dhruv will provide logistical support for the Indian Army in remote and inaccessible areas. Indian Army's aviation corps is considered to be a very, very important one because it is only this particular corps that can strike those targets wherein which the Indian Army's infantry is not able to capture. Okay, wherever the Indian Army's infantry or artillery is not able to go, it is there that Army's aviation can go. That is the reason why they are considered to be a very fast, agile, strong, swift and very, very intelligent core of the complete Indian Army. They carry their motto as Suvega vas Sudrudaha. Understanding? So if we go through the other details, and this will also perform combat search and rescue, artillery lift, combat transportation, logistics reliefs, military prisoner transportation, medical evacuation in wartime and during natural disasters. The current Director General of the Army Aviation Corps is Lieutenant General P.K. Bharali. Going through the next update is regarding the raising day of the Army's Eastern Command. Eastern Command of Indian Army carries its headquarters at Kolkata in the state of West Bengal. Also do mention in the comment section where are the Eastern Commands of the Indian Navy and Indian Air Force are located, because in that particular way it is very easy to connect the dots. So Army's Eastern Command is located at Kolkata, which is the capital of West Bengal. Where is it located inside Kolkata? It is located in the Fort William in the city. Okay, so the command area of responsibility of the Eastern Command will extend all the way from Bengal to Sikkim. Okay, all the northeastern states of India, wherein which if you can see all the way from Bengal and all the way to Sikkim, all of these areas, the northeastern states of India, all of these northeastern areas are those areas wherein which the Army's Eastern Command will locate and will completely safely secure the people and the territory of our country. And this command, as of now, we can also remember the map. If you can remember this particular command's area, the states will share their borders with countries of what particular one? We share the countries of Nepal, Bhutan, China, Myanmar and Bangladesh. Another one that we have to consider, that it was raised in the year of 1920, long way back, and at present Lieutenant General Anil Chauhan is the current General Officer Commanding in Chief, who took over this particular command's reins on 1st of September 2019, 1 year back. Going through the next update is regarding the media registration for Aero India 2021 begins today. This is considered regarding the 13th edition of Aero India 2021. The 13th edition, it will be held from 3rd to 7th of February 2021. The dates are coming very near, so that we have to be staying very, very important. And the important updates, and if you can see some interesting points, if you can observe that Aero India 2021 logo, this particular logo features the aircraft of Tejas, which is an indigenously built one, and it also mentions the Indian flag, the Ashoka Chakra. This is a very important and a very special logo that has been created. So the Aero India 2021's media registration will begin, and all around 500 companies will be participating, which will be coming from both India and the foreign countries, and they will be participating. Where it will be conducted? It will be conducted at Air Force Station Yelahanka in Bengaluru. Going through the next update, and the final one is regarding the Western Naval Command's webinar on Navy Week. Navy Week is considered all of this particular day, this whole week that we are staying as of now, this whole week is known as the Navy Week. And on 4th of November, that means tomorrow, the Western Naval Command is organizing a Maritime Webinar 2020, and in this particular webinar, various other important personnel and the other people will be participating. It would be carried off around 1 to 2 days. And the theme of this particular webinar is Enhancing Maritime Consciousness for Sea Power. I repeat, it is Enhancing Maritime Consciousness for Sea Power. That is it regarding the most important defense updates of today, and I hope that all of these updates are very, very helpful for you. Let us now have a very quick review of the topics that we are discussed by going through some of the most important questions. And the first and foremost question is, which of these United States naval ships is participating in Malabar 2020 naval exercise? Okay, now that particular ship is USS John S. McCain. If you can remember, it was also United States Nimitz ship has also participated with Indian naval ships in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands long back. So that was also a very important update. If in case you are interested, and if in case you can provide the information regarding that, you can provide the details of that in the comment section. It will be very, very helpful for those who are watching this particular video. So going through the next question is, which of these Japanese naval ships is participating in the Malabar 2020 naval exercise? It is Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force Onami, JMSDF. Onami is participating in this Malabar 2020 naval exercise. Coming towards the Australian naval ship, which is that particular Australian Navy ship? that is participating in Malabar 2020, it is HMAS Ballarat. Okay, HMAS Ballarat, the Her Majesty's Australian ship Ballarat is that particular ship of Australia participating in Malabar 2020. The next question is, which of these Indian naval ships will not participate in phase 1 of Malabar 20? I repeat, which of these particular ships will not participate in Malabar 2020? Is it INS Sindhuraj or INS Sindhuveer? Or is it INS Shivalik or INS Sukanya? The correct answer for this is INS Sindhuveer. So this is considered to be a very, very important one. Now what are those ships that are participating? It is INS Sindhuraj, INS Shivalik, INS Sukanya, INS Shakti, and what is that particular another one? It is INS Ranvijay. Going through the next question is, which ship has entered Port Sudan as a part of Mission Sagar 2? It is the INS Airawat that has recently entered Port Sudan as a part of Mission Sagar 2. INS Jalashwan, INS Kesari were those ships that have participated in the Mission Sagar the 1. Going through the next question is, and the final one is, which country's Chief of Defence Forces is on a week-long visit to India from 2nd to 6th of November 2020? It is the Chief of Defence Forces of the Kenya. He is on a visit to our country. Who is he? His name is what? He is General Robert Kibochi. Okay, General Robert Kibochi, the CDF of Kenya, is visiting our country and is already there with us. Now let us have the question of the day, and the question of the day for today is, which Cora class corvette of Indian Navy has recently demonstrated the firing of an anti-ship missile? I repeat the question, which Cora class corvette of Indian Navy has recently demonstrated the firing of an anti-ship missile? The answer for this and the explanation for it I will be giving you in the next session. Until then, stay tuned to SSB Crack Exam. Subscribe to this channel. Download our Android app from Google Play Store. Always stay safe, stay healthy. Jai Hind.